Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, the start of our Spring Clean live lesson week. This is Spring Clean Week or Spring Clean Month, and we're just so excited to have you here with us today to learn all about what Spring Clean is and how it works and what we can all do. What are we going to learn about this week? So we have a lesson for you every morning this week, and they're all about something a little bit different. Today, we're going to learn a little bit of history about spring cleaning and why we need to spring clean Scotland every single year. Tomorrow, we're going to learn about the items that we litter the most, what happens with litter, and why it's such a problem for wildlife. On Wednesday, we'll learn some cool facts and stories about the games that you like to play in the playground and why litter in parks can affect our right to play and how we enjoy our outside spaces. And on Thursday, we're going to learn how we can help solve this problem of litter by properly practicing the 3 Rs. And on Friday, we hope you can join us for an assembly to celebrate everything we've learned. So let's get started. Today, we're going to learn, what does spring cleaning mean? How long and in which ways have we been spring cleaning for? And why do we need to spring clean every year? So what does spring cleaning mean? Maybe you already have some ideas. Maybe this is something you do at home yourselves. Because as we emerge from long winter months of short days and cold weather and being inside a lot, our natural instinct is to open all the windows and the doors as soon as the days are becoming longer and to shake off not just our bodies from the sensations of winter, but also our homes from all those months of being inside, to freshen up our homes and prepare them for the new time to come. And we've been doing this as humans for hundreds or even thousands of years. Cleaning is linked to some traditions. Some of you may already practice these. For example, in Thailand, the New Year's festival, the New Year festival in Persian Nowruz, and also the Jewish Passover holiday. All of these cultures and traditions have long traditions of cleaning for celebrating new times and symbolizing new beginnings. So right now, we're going to play a little game called Guess the Cleaning Gadget. Now, for this game, usually when we play games in our lessons, we put our answers in the chat, right? But this time, we're not going to do that because that would tell everyone our answer. This time, what we're going to do is, either if you have a whiteboard or a piece of paper in front of you, you can write down your answer, and then you can count how many that you get right at the end. Or if you don't have any paper or whiteboard with you just now, that's okay. You can also tell the person next to you what you think this thing is. Okay, so let's get started. Remember, don't put your answer in the chat. Okay, let's see how many you can get right. What is this? This thing on a handle like this looks very interesting. What do you think it might be? I'll give you a little bit of time to look at it. Might be made of wood or bamboo. Has an interesting waffle pattern on it. Maybe you need a hint. Here's someone who might be using one. What do you think they're doing there at the door? He's giving her something. Hmm? Right, time's up. I'll tell you, this is a carpet beater. It's used to get all the dust and dirt out of a carpet or a rug. You'd hang the rug up and then you'd smack it with this thing and it would make all the dust come out. Right, here's our second one. What is this? This box thing. What do we think this is? We'll start the timer. Maybe you need another hint. What is this thing? This very large thing on a cart pulled by a horse. What could they be doing there with all the pipes going in the windows? Looks complicated. Oh, time's up. Shall I tell you? It's a vacuum cleaner or Hoover. How interesting that they're so big back then, and now a Hoover is a very small thing we can keep in a cupboard. Okay, here's a third one. What were these used for? Which of these was used in the past to clean pots and the kitchen in general? Which one do you think you would use to clean pots? Do you think it's the bread, the milk, or the lemons? Well, I'll tell you, it's lemons because they're good for degreasing because they're acidic. And the acid in the lemons, that's why they're so tart, and it helps get rid of the grease. Now, which of these other two things were used for dusting? Which one do you think was used to get rid of dust? Is it the milk, maybe? Or was it the bread? Which one? Kind of an interesting thing because I don't think many people do it this way anymore. I'll tell you. It was bread. The soft part of bread was used to trap dust. Interesting as that. Nowadays, we would use a cloth and like a spray. Okay, so there's only one left. What do you think milk was used for around the house? Milk. Other than putting it in your coffee or eating it with your breakfast cereal, what do you think you might do with milk? This was a tough one. I didn't get this one right when we looked at the slides before. This one, milk, was used to wash stone floors. That's something I had never thought of. I learned something this morning. Right, next one. What is this? Hmm? It's got a round thing at the bottom, a big container, and then some kind of thing at the top with a crank, maybe? Don't know at all what that could be, do you? Time's almost up. And Miss Hamill is right. It is a very old washing machine. And it's actually a Miele brand, which is a brand we still have now, except they look a lot different now. And the thing at the top is called a mangle. Does anyone know what a mangle was used for? I wonder if you can guess. If the bottom tub thing is for washing clothes, what do you think the mangle was used for? I think if you can have a guess and tell the person next to you, see if you get it right. Mangle was used to press all the water out of the clothes. So you would put the clothes through and you would turn the crank and it would squish the clothes down and squeeze all the water out harder than you could do it with your hands so that they would dry faster when you hung them up outside. Right, I think this might be our last one. Here we go, yes. Of course, looking at the washing machine, not everyone used to have the luxury of having a washing machine in their house or even in their building, or even have a tap inside their homes to get water from. You might not believe this, but it wasn't until just a few decades ago that there were places called wash houses or steamies. And these were places where the weekly wash could take place of clothes and of bodies. And they were great because they were also places where you could catch up on all the local gossip and news. And you might notice next time you're out and about that there are buildings that used to be steamies and wash houses still in your community. So the one on the left is in Glasgow, and it's the old Govan Hill Baths, and the one on the right is in Union Street, and I cannot remember what town that's in. I apologize, but you can see that that used to also be a bathhouse. Now, do you know what a gazunder is? That's a funny word, isn't it? Do we know what that might be? See if you can have a guess on your whiteboard or your piece of paper, or tell the person next to you. Do you think you might know what that is used for? What does the word sound like? Gazunder, what did that sound like? Hmm? Right, I'll tell you. It is a chamber pot. And it's called that because it goes under your bed. A while ago, people didn't have toilets inside their homes and maybe didn't want to go outside to the outside loo. So a potty that went under your bed was needed for those midnight calls of nature. So how many did you get right? Did you get them all right? You can put in the chat how many answers you got correct. I'd love to know. I'd also love to know if you got the one that I didn't get, the milk. If you got that one right, I'll be very impressed. So while you, oh, 2 or 3, good job. Right, all of them. Mrs. Hart got all of them right. Well done. Now, Mrs. Hart, was that your whole class or was that yourself? Right. You keep putting those in the chat and I'll move on to our next bit. Okay, because I know it might take you a while to count up how many, especially if you got a lot of them right. Okay. Oh, Shawhead said they got 5.5. I'd love to know what the half was. Shawhead, please tell me. So you might be wondering, if we have been cleaning for such a long time, putting so much effort into our cleaning, why do we need to spring clean Scotland every single year? Why are we dirtier and messier than ever before? Why do you think we have so much litter on our streets and parks and waste coming out of our homes? What's going on? You might have your own ideas, and I'd love for you to share them with me while we go through the lesson. But the answer that we're going to focus on today is because we produce and consume too much stuff, just too much. Imagine, for example, one day you have a drink in a single-use plastic bottle. It was nice, so the next day you decide to have another one. It might not seem like much, but it can really add up. In a week, in a month, in 6 months, in 2 years. Now imagine everyone doing the same thing, except it's not just water bottles, is it? It's coffee cups and takeaway packages, fruit punnets, bottle caps, plastic bags, materials from all the packages that we order online, and much more than that too. All of this waste has to go somewhere, and sometimes it ends up in the wrong place. How much waste do you think each of us in Scotland produce every single year? Right? We have a red deer here, which weighs about 200 kilograms, and a moose, which weighs around 450 kilos, and a bison, which is even heavier at 650. So if you think it's 200 kilos, put 2 hands up. If you think it's 450 kilos, as heavy as a moose, put 1 hand up. And if you think it's as much as a bison weighs, put your hand on your head. Right? And let's see how many you get right. Oh, although I have one thing though here. Although a moose doesn't look like a big animal, it weighs the same as 6 to 8 times the weight of your teacher, or 10 or 12 of you. So let's see how many we get right. It is the moose. 10 or 12 of you. How much waste is that? That's a lot. Can you imagine having a moose standing in your house? That's as much waste as you produce, as everyone produces every year. That's a bit too much. A moose is huge. Yes, moose are very big. They may not look like it because we don't really have moose here, so it's kind of hard to tell how big they are. But I grew up somewhere where there are moose, and they are very, very big indeed. Right, let's try this one. How many pieces of litter are dropped in the UK every single day? It's the whole of the UK, mind you. It's not just Scotland, but let's see. Those are still really big numbers. If you think it's more than 2 million pieces, put 2 hands up, right? If you think it's 1 million pieces, put 1 hand up. And if you think it's 500,000 pieces, put your hand on your head. None of those numbers are good, are they? They're all very big. That's very worrying. No matter which answer is right, it's not good, is it? So which one do we think it is? Let's see which is right. I'm a bit scared, actually. Oh no, it's more than 2 million pieces every single day. And if we do some quick maths, that means every second, every time you can click your fingers like this, right? At least 23 pieces of litter are being dropped in the UK somewhere. It's not good, is it? That's a very big number. We need to do something about that, don't we? Right. This is why we find ourselves needing to spring clean Scotland every year. We kind of hope we wouldn't have to do this at some point. We can't not do it though, because as we will see tomorrow and on Wednesday, if we don't do something about all of this litter flying around, our wildlife and ourselves will also suffer big consequences. It's a big problem. Right. So what would we like you to do today? Today, we have two things we'd like you to do. First, we'd like you to think about a place that you would like to look after. You might like to adopt. And this could be a place that you like to play. It could be a park, could be a path that you like to take walks on. Might even be your school grounds, or maybe it's a local garden, just somewhere close by that you like to be in, you'd like to spend time in. And in the resource folder, there is a page there that you can print. And as a class or as a group, however you're watching today, you can think about a place that you'd like to take care of. And you can make a drawing of that place, or you can draw a map from your school to where it is. You can think about why you've adopted that place. And if you look at the questions there, think about what it looks like before you adopted it. Is it a bit of a mess? A bit need a bit taken care of? Do you think maybe you might want to plant some flowers or do some litter picks, right? And think about how you'd like it to look instead and what you can do to make sure that happens. Don't forget to take some photos before and after, because as you know, if you do eco schools, it's really important to keep a record of the work that you do so that you can see all the difference that you've made after you've done all your work. Sometimes it can be really discouraging when something takes a long time, or maybe you want to show someone else, and taking photos will really help you show all the difference that you've made and to encourage yourselves too. Okay, so that is in the resource folder that your teachers have. Okay, and you can tell us about the place that you've decided to look after too. If you'd like to send us your activity sheets and tell us all about your place, we'd love to hear all the things that you do to make your place look cared for as well. And the next thing you can do, oh, this is really fun. I really like this one. The next thing you can do today, if you want to, is to join our new litter league. Now, we know that lots of you love to get out and do a litter pick, but we thought maybe a little competition might be fun too. So what the Litter League is you're going to compete against others on a national and regional level to claim cleanup glory by seeing who can collect the most bags of litter. And you can join as a whole school, as a class, as a community group. Maybe you do scouts or guides after school, you can join with that too. So you can go out and do as many litter picks as you want. And what you do is you click on the link in the PDF in the resource folder, and you just put in how many bags you found and where you found them. And not only will that maybe help you win a trophy for your school or your region, but it also helps us to know how much litter is out there and how much work is being done by volunteers and schools like yourselves to help keep Scotland beautiful. So this is a bit of citizen science as well, and it really helps us out. Right. Now, did you enjoy today's lesson? I hope so. If you did, thumbs up. If it was maybe thumbs to the side. And if no, maybe because you realized today how much litter is actually out there, thumbs down. I hope there's lots of thumbs up because I always enjoy spending time with you guys too. Right. Now, as a class or individually, can you maybe tell us one thing you learned today? You can put it in the chat. You can tell your teacher, however your teacher usually wants you to say, either write on your whiteboard or tell the person next to you, put your hand up, tell your teacher. I learned milk is good for scrubbing stone floors. And I also learned that there's a whole lot of litter out there, a whole lot more than I thought there was. Yes, how much litter there actually is. The good thing, though, I don't want you to leave today thinking everything is bad, because throughout this week, we're going to learn about all the good things that we can do and all the good things that are being done all over the place about this problem. Okay, so don't leave today feeling discouraged. Today's just an introduction. Okay, I know it makes me sad too to see how much litter is out there, but it's good that we can all get together and do something about this problem. That's what I want you to leave here today thinking of. It's okay, we're going to do something about it. Okay, more than 2 million pieces. Yes, that's a whole lot. That's, yes, it's too much. So as always, we'd love to say hello to you. We love it when you send us pictures or when you share your work with us. It just makes our day. So if you have time and you want to tweet us or send us something that says hello and what you've been up to, tell us all about the place that you were going to adopt. We'd love to hear about that. And later on this week, we'll be talking more about that. So yes, if you'd like to email us, it's the usual email address, ecoschools@keepscotland.beautiful.org. Or you can find us on all major social media platforms at KSB Scotland. If you'd love to say hello, then we just love to see pictures of you watching us and joining in. So please do share if you can. I'm seeing lots of things that have been learned in the chat about milk being used to clean floors, and about how every time you click your fingers, that's 23 pieces of rubbish. It's not good, is it? But don't worry, we're going to do something about it. Right? Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you all again tomorrow morning at the same time, where we can learn a lot more about wildlife and what is going on with litter and them, okay? And every day this week, and then again on Friday for our assembly. So thank you so much. Have a lovely Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.